May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Are you vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
Fully vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
No symptoms of COVID?
No, sir.
You may remove your mask.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Please introduce yourself to the board, highlighting your educational qualification and experience, if any.
Sir, my name is Gamini Singla and I have done my computer science engineering from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh. And post 2019, I have been preparing for civil services. And I was offered a job at JP Morgan, but I decided to pursue civil services examinations.
So you are preferring a public life over your career in a private sector?
Yes, sir.
So what is so important and why are you so passionate about joining the public life?
So I am so passionate about joining the public life because I think it will give me immense satisfaction if I can do something good for the people at the ground level, and the kind of exposure that I can get by working in the services to different fields. And also it offers leadership positions at a very young age. So I think these are the factors, and the satisfaction is the primary factor that I am here.
Okay, Gamini, today is Panchayati Raj Day. Are you aware of the fact that Panchayati Raj institutions were celebrated on this day only? So today is that day. Your birthday is on 2nd October. Mahatma Gandhi had once said that India lives in its villages, isn't it? And he believed that we cannot create a developed India without a prosperous rural India.
Yes, sir.
In the context of what I have told you just now, you tell me how the Panchayati Raj institutions were created, what was the purpose for creation of Panchayati Raj institutions, and what was the role of women envisaged in the Panchayati Raj, and what is the status today?
Okay, sir. Sir, Panchayati Raj institutions were brought by 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts, and the purpose was the decentralization, basically, of the governance and the participation of the people at the ground level in the decision making through the Gram Sabhas. And it also led to women empowerment because it led to reservation of 1/3 of the reservation was given to women at the Panchayati Raj institution levels.
What are 3 tier institutions of Panchayati Raj?
So one is the village Gram Panchayat at the village level, then is the block level, and then is the Zilla Parishad at the Zilla level.
What is the role of the Panchayats at these 3 levels? Briefly tell me.
Okay, sir. Sir, at the village level, the role is to involve people in the decision making, to hold Gram Sabhas, and there are also some taxation powers which are given to the Gram Panchayats, Panchayat heads. And sir, at the block level, it's also about the coordination of the activities of different departments. And at the district level, it's like, again, the coordination of the activities of the block and managing the district as a whole and carrying out the district administration in different spheres. One of them can be disaster management and like this.
Okay, wonderful. You tell me, there was a reservation also given to the women in local self-government at the level of Panchayati Raj institutions. And the primary purpose was, according to me, 3. Number 1 was economic welfare of women and children. And other was participation of women in public life and empowerment of women as individuals. So have we achieved on those parameters?
So we have come too far and we are achieving. The process still goes on. But at the same time, sir, I think that there are some concepts of panchpatis, as we say, that the women are just ceremonial heads and they're not given the power, if we see. So these are some of the challenges, but still this institution has given women a power. Their voice is being heard now. And as you said, sir, they are being empowered because now they feel that they can also make decisions, and they are empowering women alongside. Many other women are looking up to them, and they are getting motivated by the leadership roles which are held by the women at the Panchayat level. So I think it has been a success, but these steps need to be taken further to improve it.
Can you give any example of women doing wonderful work at the local level, at the Panchayat level?
So there are multiple women, but now...
so name a few, if you are able to recollect.
So at this moment I am unable to recall, but I have studied about some.
Okay, you are from Punjab. So how many villages are there in Punjab and where Panchayati Raj institutions, I mean, how many institutions are there, panchayats and all? Any idea? How many villages for that matter to begin with?
So I'm unaware of the number of villages, but I know the number of districts that we have in Punjab.
So do you think that number one, Panchayati Raj institutions, is it a 3-tier Panchayati Raj institution in Punjab or otherwise?
So it's a 3-tier institution, but in some areas it is said that if the population is lesser, then we can have 2 tiers and the block level can be missed.
What do you think that Panchayati Raj institutions have been given powers for local governance and all that? What do you think needs to be done to make it more powerful and more vibrant?
So I think there can be multiple steps that can be taken for empowerment of Panchayati Raj institutions. First is the improvement of the fund devolution to the Panchayati Raj institutions. Second could be the information education activities to tell them about what powers they hold. Sometimes they are not even aware of the powers they have and what good they can do. So we can run campaigns about telling about the good work that has been done by the Panchayati Raj institutions in various parts of the countries. Third can be their taxation powers are underutilized. So to make them aware of the taxation powers and to help them in utilizing them further. Fourth can be the infrastructure also, specifically the digital infrastructure and the digital literacy, so that they can use the digital mediums to help in the governance.
Has the Government of India taken any steps towards this digital, making panchayats more digital?
Yes, sir, there are some steps. One is the Digital India program, and under that we have BharatNet program to connect the Gram Panchayats with the internet connectivity. And apart from that, sir, we also have common service centers specifically for the agriculture, e-agriculture services to be provided at the local level. So these are some of the, and recently, sir, e-Swaraj was also a scheme which was introduced for digitization of the land and utilization of the satellites for the mapping of the lands, unutilized lands.
Thank you, Gamini.
Thank you
very much.
Gamini, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Gamini, what is the meaning of your name?
So my name means to walk.
Yeah.
To walk.
To walk.
Yes, sir.
Any synonyms of this name?
So it has been used in Lopat Gamini to tell about the train's movement further. So one is from that. And mainly it is a name which is used by the Sinhalese community in Sri Lanka, sir.
Okay. Gamini, so how many miles you walk in a day?
Sir, approximately 1.8 miles, 3 kilometers. I tend to walk a day. Yes, sir.
On a regular basis?
Yes, I try to do that on a regular basis.
Okay, Gamini. Gamini, you have used Gamini Singla.
Yes, sir.
In your mail. What is this gem and why you have used this?
This is something which has been given by my father to me. So he used to call me that you are not Gamini, you are Gemini because you are a gem of a person. So I had used this in my email ID and it continues since I have made it for the first time.
So you are a gem of a person. Do
yes,
you
sir,
believe in this?
Yes, sir, I believe in that.
What are the most important traits of your personality?
So one is that I'm a compassionate and a very empathetic human being. I can understand the needs of the other persons and I can go an extra mile to help them further. Second, sir, I am a very honest person. So I believe in my moral uprightness and whatever moral values that my parents have given me. So I believe in them. So second is that. Third, sir, leadership qualities. I believe that I have held some positions and I have been able to gather some experience in that field. So these are some of the personality traits.
Can you recollect GEM policies of the Government of India?
Yes, sir. Government e-marketplace?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. It is a marketplace that has been made by the Government of India for public procurement in a transparent manner. And so it serves both the purposes. One, it makes it transparent. And secondly, all the vendors, the MSMEs and the poor people or the rural people, they can directly sell their goods to the government through this platform. So I think it serves a twin purpose.
What is the current status of women empowerment in India?
So women empowerment, we can look from multiple angles. So if we have to look from the labor force participation rate, that unfortunately has declined in the past. But on the other parameters like IMR and MMR, maternal mortality rate, and on the health factors, through various schemes we have improved. And the sex ratio also continues to improve, but we need to take further steps in that as well. And fourthly, sir, political empowerment. So we see more women entering the political arena, and even in the Lok Sabha, now we have the maximum number of women till now. And so I think, yes, the conditions are improving, but to make women financially independent, we need to take more steps.
This year, what was the motto of International Women's Day?
So I've read about it, but right now I cannot recall. I'll read about it, sir.
Okay, no problem. Do you have any idea about Nirbhaya Fund?
Yes, sir.
What is the current status of this fund?
So I know that this fund was made for the safety of the women and to fund the activities related to the women. But currently I'm not sure about what is the corpus of the fund and what is the exact fund that has been allocated. I'll have to read more about it, sir.
Okay. And what about de-Brahmanization? Are you aware of this concept? De-Brahmanization.
De-Brahmanization?
Yeah, because you are a student of sociology.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, de-Brahmanization is a concept which is opposite of Sanskritization. So, it is believed that now the Brahmins and some of the upper castes are also seeking their reservation and also seeking for the political and for the social empowerment.
Okay. You don't remember the sociological theory regarding de-Brahmanization?
Yes, sir, I will have to read about it.
You will have to read about it.
Yes.
No problem. You have used the term Sanskritization.
Yes.
Can you recollect names of some of the castes who have Sanskritized themselves?
Yes, sir. One is the Nonias community. They have Sanskritized. So right now I'm able to recall.
You are not able to recollect.
Others.
Okay.
Sir.
No problem. Related to that, just in one sentence you can reply it, that in most of the cases of Sanskritization, the castes generally opt for, or they try to imitate the lifestyle of Kshatriyas, not the Brahmins. Why?
So because one, they feel closer to the lifestyle of the Kshatriyas, because the Brahmanical lifestyle is believed to be very strict and their lifestyle is very strict. So they believe that it is easier to attain the status of Kshatriyas. And secondly, also because it's a warrior class and it is indirectly a political class which has the power in its hands. So second reason could be that.
Damni, last question from my side. There is a book by M.N. Srinivas that is cast in modern India. And in the present scenario or context, when we observed Indian society, or particularly the urban society of India, we find that caste is dying. What is your opinion?
Yes, sir. I think that in certain aspects, caste is dying. For example, in the ritual aspects, like inter-dining is the norm. Professionally also, the barriers have been broken. But in some areas, it stays constant. Like in the marriages, intermarriages are still less. They are happening, but still intercaste marriages are not the norm. And in some areas, sir, caste has increased, like in the political sphere. So we see more caste in politics has increased, and even the caste associations and the people's participation in the caste associations, that continues to increase.
Okay, thank you, Gamini.
Thank you, sir.
Gamini, you like public speaking.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you would be posted as a spokesperson to the Ministry of External Affairs. How you will address the press regarding the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war?
So I will go ahead and keep my opinion, India's opinion, in front of the press, claiming that India has always stood for the peaceful dialogue and the peaceful resolution of the disputes through dialogue. And secondly, we are always going to keep our strategic autonomy ahead of everything. And thirdly, that we are ready for any kind of truce and we are ready to facilitate any kind of dialogue between the two. And India does not abide by the unilateral sanctions of any country. So if there are any international sanctions backed up by UN, so India is going to abide by that. So I will make it clear that we stand for peaceful resolutions.
Okay. Why Russia is not proceeding for the expansion of CSTO, rather than attacking another sovereign nation called Ukraine. Have you heard about the CSTO?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So it's Collective Security Treaty Organization. So, sir, I think that Russia is not going for the expansion because one, it is a long-term process. So to include the countries in an organization, it takes a lot of time. And secondly, I think the Russia's approach is to curb the increase in the participation in the NATO, because more and more countries, as we see Ukraine, and earlier there was Georgia also wanted to join NATO. So these countries which are very close to Russia, so they are also going to join NATO. So Russia is a little bit sensitive about its own sovereignty and about the geographical areas that are with Russia. So they want to keep them safe, and specifically from any kind of nuclear weapons that are there. So I think they believe that that would be a long-term process, and anyhow these countries will not agree to join CSTO. So its main purpose will not be served by just aiming at the expansion.
Okay. It is said that public speakers should be culturally correct, right? Speak something regarding the empowerment of women, considering that you are a public speaker and you are speaking in front of thousands of the people.
May I take some few seconds?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I'd like to go ahead. So, hello everyone. So, let's see that women constitute around 50% of the population. And one thing which only women can do is that give birth to a new young born. So, if everybody today is because their mothers have born them somehow. And so I want to say that only a strong and a healthy woman can go ahead and give birth to a healthy baby. And only the healthy babies can become the healthy citizens of India. And if anyhow we need to be empowered, our mothers have to be empowered. Even B.R. Ambedkar said that you need to empower. If you want to empower a man, you will only empower a man. And even, Swami Vivekananda ji also said that if you want to empower a man, you will only empower a man. But if you empower a woman, you will go ahead and empower thousands of citizens. So the women empowerment will have a so strong ripple effect on the upcoming generation.
Good, good. Gamini, got it.
Thank you, sir.
What are the expected hindrances of communication while public speaking?
Sorry, sir, I did not get the question.
What are the hindrances of communication or barriers of communication while public speaking?
So first is the linguistic barriers, because we have so many languages and one language cannot bind all the community. So sometimes the speaker is not ready to speak in the language which the listeners can hear. So I think one is that. And second is the type of audience we are addressing. Sometimes we cannot connect with the audience, and in public speaking and in the communication also, most important is to connect with the audience and to know what they are asking from us. So I think these two barriers are there which prevent the connection of a public speaker with the people around.
Okay, Gamini, I have to understand why everybody coming from Punjab or Bhatinda wants to settle in US or Canada. What's the main reason, and as you perceive?
So I think there are multiple reasons. One is the push factors which are there because of the lack of employment in Punjab particularly. Secondly, the agrarian crisis, and the agriculture is becoming more and less profitable for the farmers, and so their children prefer going outside. Third is the issue of drug menace. So the parents are very afraid that their children might enter into this drug scandal, and they might ruin their youth. Okay. So these are the push factors. And there are other pull factors because of the easy PR that they can get in some of the countries. And secondly, nowadays, social media, when they see the pictures of their friends, of their families who have settled there, so it kind of persuades them to apply for outside because they feel that everything is going to be good there. So okay. These are the factors.
My last question is, you are a sociology student. In what ways gender budget could be better for women empowerment?
So I think gender budgeting needs to be done very carefully, and it needs to be done as something which is irreplaceable, because funding for the schemes of the women is very essential.
So do you believe that the allocation of fund is the only way to empowering women?
Sir, it is one of the ways, and it is not sufficient. So we need to allocate the fund, and secondly, we need to monitor that whether that fund is being utilized. Thirdly, I think we need to have impact assessments, social impact assessments, and the legislative impact assessments, that whether the schemes are reaching the women or not. And fourthly, we should have audits and feedbacks from the women themselves. So any fund that is allocated, we should make women the owners of the program or the scheme, so that they know what is beneficial for them, and then the funds are utilized in the best possible manner, keeping into account the outcome-based approach.
Very good, Gamini.
Thank you, sir.
Gamini.
Yes.
Gamini, a student of sociology, it is said that what is good for politics is bad for economics. So the culture of the freebies that we see around us, even in Punjab itself, I hope you might be guessing, that freebie culture. So how these kind of the cultures that is prevailed in India and specifically in Punjab is hampering the economic interest of the state?
So the freebies, as we say, is provision of the goods and services to the people free of cost. So some freebies which are not directly related to the upliftment of the population, they lead to a burden on the exchequer, public exchequer. So what happens is that the subsidies that we tend to give, they go from the revenue of the state, and then the state's power to implement or to invest in the fields or in the public goods like health, in the education, that is constrained. So one is that. And second is that the state becomes debt-ridden. As we see in Punjab, the debt is soaring very high. So once the state becomes debt-ridden, again the expenditures on the good things or on the purposeful things, they tend to decline. And thirdly, sir, one more connection can be there, that by giving freebies, we tend to inflate, we tend to promote inflation as well. Because now free of cost the services or the goods are being given, and the money that will be saved, that can lead to conspicuous consumption.
Right. So student of sociology, recently we have seen one of the course in nursing. The chapter has been added related with the merits of the dowry.
Okay.
You being a good public speaker, can you point out minimum 3 points, the merits that lies with the system of the dowry?
So one is the confidence that a woman has, that her parents have contributed financially to the family, and that she is not living here just on the money of the in-laws or of the husbands. So she has her confidence that I have paid my share to be here. One is that merit. Second is again, I think the confidence of the bride's parents, that again we have contributed. So I'll think more about it. I will think
Not
about
an issue.
it.
Amrita Pritam, you might have heard this name. I think it's a household name in Punjab.
Sorry, sir. I might have heard. If you could give me a clue, I will understand.
Kagas te Canvas?
Yes, sir.
Amrita Pritam?
Yes, sir.
So, how Amrita Pritam has helped through her poetic or literary contribution to revitalize the conscience of the people in Punjab?
Sir, I have heard her name, but I have never heard her poetry, so I think I will not be able to answer in a good manner this
All
question.
right, not an issue. Supreme Court has recently observed through its various, we can say petitions, that the conviction rate, in cases of, the atrocities against the SCs and the STs are very low. What are those possible reasons that it might have been observed by it? In a condition when a large chunk of the population percentage that comes from the SC community.
So there could be multiple reasons for this problem. One could be the lack of the evidence and lack of the material to prove that they have been verbally or physically or sexually abused. So to prove this, we need an evidence, and the law works through evidence. So if there is lack of evidence, you are unable to prove, then I think then the chances of acquittal are high. Second could also be the false complaints nowadays against by the SC community and misuse of the law provisions. So second could be that. That is why the conviction rate could be lower.
Are you aware of the latest developments related with the registrations of the FIR in these kind of cases? Whether the investigation has to be put first or the FIR has to be lodged first?
So there were some changes in the law under which it was said that before the FIR there should be a minimal investigation that should be done as per the Supreme Court. But after that, I think it was reversed by another act by the government because the SC/ST communities, they were protesting against this. So I think now FIRs have to be registered and then the investigation.
Last one, Gamini. Gamini, we have seen like last year, India has chaired a session of UNSC in the capacity of its chairman. What proposals it has put forward in the capacity of being chairman before the international community?
So India has been timely and again it has put forth its view for the expansion of the United Nations Security Council, and specifically the expansion of the permanent seats in the UNSC. And it has its valid points there, because it believes that the permanent members in the UNSC, they are no longer representing the population of the world. So the countries, developing countries like India, which represent a huge population, are democratic countries and are doing economically well.
Is India supporting any African countries' candidature to the permanent seat in UNSC?
African countries?
Yes.
So in the G4, there is no African country, but South Africa, we are collaborating with South Africa for the permanent seat in the UNSC.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Gamini, you are from Anandpur Sahib, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me something about Anandpur Sahib resolution.
Okay, sir. So Anandpur Sahib resolution was brought in 1973, and it was brought by the government of the day and in 1973. So there were many points in it. So the first one was the autonomy that must be given to the states, and it proposed that apart from some areas like communication, like defense, other matters should be left to the state. Second was the transfer of Chandigarh to Punjab. The capital Chandigarh should be transferred to Punjab, and some of the Punjabi speaking areas of Haryana should also be transferred to Punjab. Third issue was to bring in All India Gurdwara Act, so that all the Gurdwaras could be under one body. So third was that. And fourth, it also proposed for the improvement in the education and the health of the state. And fifth was also that the union government should also promote Punjabi in different states.
Okay. As Solomon Islands, it is in news for a security pact, right?
Yes.
So tell me something about it.
So recently Solomon Islands have entered into a security pact with China, and that has raised some concerns in the United States and Australia. So this is the news, sir.
Okay. What is AUKUS in the area here? An organization, right?
Yes, sir. So it's an organization consisting of Australia, United Kingdoms and United States, in which the UK and US are promising the nuclear-backed submarines to the Australia. It's a kind of military pact in the region.
And what are Five Eye countries?
So Five Eye countries are the countries which share the intelligence across the countries. Should I name the countries?
Yeah.
Okay. So New Zealand, Australia, we have United Kingdoms, United States, and...
Okay. Your optional is sociology, okay?
Yes.
So do you think Max Weber's ideas on bureaucracy are still relevant today?
So in some cases, I would say they are still relevant, because Max Weber proposed that bureaucracy will be the institution which is going to be governing the modern states nowadays. And we see that the bureaucracy is holding its power and is, as it said, it's the steel frame of India. So one is that he proposed that it will be based on the rules and regulations, the entries that is being done. They will have a hierarchy that is being done. He also said that they will have fixed salaries and the payments that is there. So number 4, he also said about the formalistic impersonality, and 5th was about that the personal and the professional things should not be mixed. So in these areas, a little bit of dispute is there, because in formalistic impersonality, it means that a bureaucrat should not work with either hatred or passion. But nowadays, it is being said that the bureaucrats should work with passion and they should have empathy towards the people for whom they are working. So I think on this area, we are slightly divergent. And he even said that in the self-criticism, he mentioned about the iron cage of a bureaucrat. That the bureaucrat might not be able to think innovatively, and secondly, he might not be able to frame policies, and it might lead to red tapeism. So that also we have witnessed a few times, but I think the situation is improving with time.
Okay, my last question to you is, one of your interest is listening to Nilesh Mishra's short stories. So what is something unique you find in those stories?
So one is the novelty of the idea. Whatever story he brings, the kind of message that it has in the end is something like an eye-opener for me. And because in the middle of the story, I always wonder that what should be the ideal ending. And if it is the same, I tend to like it. But if it's different, I think I learn something new from his stories. And second is the sound effects that his stories have. Because if he says that, just an example, that a pen fell, so it will give a sound effect of the falling pen. Or if a train is passing, so the train's horn will be listened. So these are some of the things that I like about him. Specifically the issues that he raises. Every story, social issues are raised relating to grandparents, gender. So some of these issues that he raises, I like listening to the stories.
You are a debater, a public speaker, you have participated in non-profit organization. So many facets of your personality you can see. And just now you have demonstrated your mental grit and determination as a public speaker also. We wanted to know your, listen more on your qualities of head and heart. So let us come to debate, from public speaking to debate. I'll give you two topics. You choose one topic and speak for 1 minute for the motion.
Okay.
One is, I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Second topic is, dowry system is a social evil which is eating into the vitals of our society. Choose one and speak for the motion for 1 minute.
So I would like to go with the first option because it's closer to my heart.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So the motion is that I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. And today I'm here to present for the motion. So I am Gamini Singla, and I believe that I have always walked steadily, and I have always believed that slow and steady wins the race. So while walking slowly, I have been able to reflect back on whatever my journey has been. If it is successful, then I have been able to learn from it that these things leads to success. And if it's failure, I tend to walk more slowly so that I can understand what were the points that led me to failure. But I never look back, or I never walk back. I can slow down for a time to understand and to accumulate whatever has led to the situation I am in. But I tend to walk further, improving over myself. And every step I take is new. No two steps are the same, because with every step I tend to learn something. And I think it adds to my personality. So I take both my pros, both my cons, both my weaknesses and strengths with me. But I will never walk back, because I think going back on what one has decided, it's a thing of cowardness. And I'm not a coward. I'm a person who believes that one must be able to face whatever the decisions they have taken, whether right or wrong, that destiny will tell, and we need to accept. If it's wrong, we need to improve to make it right further. And if it is right, we need to stay humble. And humility is the core. We cannot be overconfident about our successes. So both the things should be balanced, and we must walk slowly so that we do not miss out on life.
Thank you very much, Gamini. Your interview